What is up, guys? Ow, I hurt my hand. It's your gal, NebulaGoddess. You guys actually don't quite hear in the video that I actually clap my hands as a way to give myself an indication that I'm about to start recording when I go back and edit the videos, because I record my episodes in one go. So anyway, we are back with another episode of our survival world. And I just about hit create new world. No, we're not creating a new world. We're playing this one. We're playing this one. Okay. We're jumping in. Okay. I don't know why that Optifine thing keeps popping up. It just does. There's not too much I can do about it. Okay. I forgot to check where the sun was. Where is the sun? Sun? Hello. Okay. Oh, look at that! It's changed colors. Completely. There we go. No, is there like a squidicide or something? Okay. Right, so we're not doing too bad. Right, so I was thinking that in maybe one of these episodes we'll clear some more of this area out and like make some bigger pens for these guys. And like, well, like using trapdoors is actually really nice because it allows us to get the farm animals in much more easily. I'm really worried about like mobs, like creepers, getting in. So, cause yeah, like if it were like a zombie or a skeleton, I wouldn't be too worried because like we could just let the sun take care of them. Ooh, hey, you know what I want to do? I want to smelt some glass so we can make some glass bottles. And we have more copper! Let's make one copper rod, and then we'll make some more of these. Are you serious? Are you serious? Oh, the sun's going down. Okay, so we've got these melting. And now we've got 3 jars. I don't have anything else that I could cook at the moment. Oh. Bedtime. probably because I don't have coal. There we go. I forget, do I have shears? I do not have shears. Why don't I have shears? Okay, well, either way. Get me out. My dog is throwing stuff upstairs. I can hear it. Or it might be my mom's dog. Who knows? Ah, there it is. Okay, we've got a campfire. So this will keep the bees from becoming hostile towards us. And we can do that. If you use shears on the beehive, you can get honeycombs, and then you can make your own, no. Oh no, okay. So, what's on the tree is... Nope, I'm getting confused. I'm getting myself confused. Oh no. Either way, you can get honeycomb and make, like, your own, like, little beehive bee nest thingy. And all you have to do is breed some of the bees to get smaller, like get baby bees, and then you can bring them over to the new beehive, and then you've got like pollinators that will help grow your crops much faster. I also want to place this. Where do I want to place this? No. Yeah, let's place it on that. And whenever lightning strikes, whenever there's like a thunderstorm, lightning will hit the lightning rod, and if this is like ever colored, then it'll actually strip a layer of coloring off. It is actually really cool. Okay, hang on 3 seconds here. I'm actually going to do that. Oh, wait. I'm not gonna lie, I did forget what the seed was. So I'm going to grab that. Oops. Yeah, apparently when I copied it, it did not want to, actually copy it for me. Or I forgot to, like, paste it somewhere. My web browser's being weird. Minecraft seed reader. Seed map. I'm only using this to find where a village is. Because I honestly have no clue. Is there really none near me? Okay. Turn off dungeons. Strongholds are turned off. Okay. Okay. Okay, turning off rune portals, geodes, fossils, ravines, lime chunks as well. Okay, so the nearest one is over the mountain. At X -248 and Z312. I'll quickly write that down just in case. -248, 312. Okay. Exit out of that now. And back to game. So if we went that way, we find it. But that might take like a day or two. Maybe. And I have no metal, and I don't have any iron for shears. Because I'm a bit cowardly, and I do not want to deal with mobs. But I mean, we do have what we would need to trade with a stone mason. Like a mason worker? Because they'll take clay. You know what? What we're gonna do is we are going to going to do that, and we're going to climb the mountain. Sorry. My anxiety's kicking up here. Okay. Nope. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Alright. I know to a lot of you guys, it would make sense for you guys to feel like frustrated with yourselves, or even like disappointed. about the fact like you can't even climb up a mountain. But it's actually alright to not want to embark on that journey. 'Cause yeah, it can be scary. And I mean, who knows what we could deal with? I mean, we climbed part of it. And it's always that type of stuff that, like, I'm proud of. It's, I recognize it. And every once in a while, yeah, it is a bit disheartening. But I'm not frustrated or disappointed with myself over it. I don't beat myself up over it. Because I know that there are other people, too, who struggle just the same. And we're taught to beat ourselves up over our shortcomings and not being able to do the same things others can't. That's fine. Well, it's not fine, but yeah, see, there's my jaded self coming out. Because I've heard it so much in my life. But it's not fine, it's not alright, it's actually very unhealthy, it's toxic, and it destroys the future. It does. And if some of you want to continue having those thought patterns, then that's completely up to you. But don't force other people to have that same thought pattern as you. Just because you were raised to have it. All our experiences affect us differently. For some people, yeah, it's very easy to overcome traumas and heal from them. For others, not so much. For some, it actually physically kills them. Whether it's they take their own life willingly or they use unhealthy coping mechanisms, such as using alcohol or drugs. And that part's not okay. That part is definitely not okay. And that's why it's important to get help, go to therapy. Because we shouldn't beat ourselves up over things that we can't control. Especially when it comes to something like anxiety. Or depression, or learning disabilities. So I actually had quite a few teachers in my youth who didn't quite like the fact that I had a learning disability. I have dyslexia. And for the longest time, I would beat myself up over it because my teachers would, and my father would too. But since I don't have to deal with teachers, and my father has been in my life for like 7-ish years? I have no idea. Last time I saw him, I would have been like 13, 14 years old. So, anywhere from like 7 to 8 years ago. About a decade. And, yeah, no, honestly, he would not like the fact that I was doing this. And my episodes would not be good enough for him, and he would verbally berate me for not going down into the caves and being a scaredy cat. It's like, well, who's the one that actually caused that in me? Because all you let me feel was fear. So, it's not completely on me. In fact, it's not really on me at all. Like, only 1% of it is. But what is on me is whether or not I choose to heal from it. Whether or not I choose to say enough is enough. And how fast I want to work on taking back my confidence and working to minimize my anxiety affecting me and limiting me. And yeah, I'll have my doubts. We all have our doubts. Like, some of us aren't really sure what to do with ourselves because we were never allowed to do anything. Some of us weren't really allowed to celebrate any milestones or anything like that because if we did, this isn't a milestone to celebrate. This isn't something worthy of celebration, or you're not worthy of celebrating this. It hurts. It does. Anyone can attest to that. But it's upsetting that we continue it the way that we do. Because we don't recognize that we're continuing it at all until either it's too late or we just never recognize what we're doing. It does. It takes a lot. And even recognizing that and even facing it and healing it and releasing it, that can induce anxiety as well. Like, there's not really ever any easy way of going about things. It doesn't matter how much you've healed or if you're starting to heal or how much trauma you've faced, it can still cause anxiety and panic attacks in you. It's just a bit upsetting. The fact that we will beat one another up over this, even though quite a few of us are dealing with the same thing. And it's all because we want to look cool to the person next to us. Even though we don't recognize that pretty much all of us are hurting. And don't have to deal with that. Like, we don't have to be mean to each other. We don't have to try and hide our feelings. Because I know that's actually a fairly big problem with the masculine community around us. Is that all men, starting from the times that they're child, so when they're boys, they're taught not to acknowledge their feelings. They're taught not to talk about them. Doesn't matter if they're depressed. Doesn't matter if they're scared. It's, well, you're a man, you shouldn't be scared. Like, but that defeats the whole point of feeling safe. And of course, like, if we're not taught how to deal with fear properly and healthily, it turns into something unhealthy, such as anger. And then who knows who pays the price, whether it's a partner, a parent, a teacher, a child, a sibling. By not acknowledging emotions in everyone, we hurt the future, literally. We're hurting each other, literally. We're hurting ourselves. We're hurting the human race, because we're not all just individuals. We're a collective. We stand together, fight together, we have each other's back, even when things get tough and scary. And we're always told from childhood that we'll be protected, that we'll be looked after, that we can go and talk to our parents about how we're feeling. But then, of course, for some reason that changes depending on the gender, depending on the lifestyle, depending on, like, how the child is able to be raised. But there's a lot that people neglect about this type of situation. And that's what happens when only some things are recognized. That's what it is. Either you recognize everything or you recognize nothing. There isn't really any in between. Oops. Not see. Go there. Go there. So, when it comes to dealing with things, when it comes to raising kids, when it comes to reaching out to one another, there's a lot of things and almost nothing that happens. Like, my cousin, she has friends that aren't really healthy for her. They're actually fairly toxic. But she's not really going to recognize that because she wasn't exposed to some of the right things. Like, it's difficult to explain because we aren't really taught what to look for in friends. We aren't taught the appropriate things when it comes to making friends or having friends. Like the whole sharing is caring. Yes, sharing is caring, but that doesn't mean that you have to share absolutely everything. And there's even, like, when we're taught from a young age that it doesn't matter if we like the person or not, we still have to be nice to them. It's like, well, why should I be nice to someone if they're just going to hurt me? Like, I actually have some disowned family members that I want absolutely nothing to deal with. But every once in a while, but they're family. If they're family, like I'm taught that family is supposed to mean, where were they when one of the most prominent family members in all our lives passed away and we needed them? Where were they when I was having a mental breakdown? Where were they when I was scared and hiding in a closet because my father broke into my house? When that family member promised me that they were going to be by my side and help to protect and look after me all my life. They broke that promise. And you want me to forgive and forget. It's not that easy. So please respect the fact that I don't really want anything to do with someone who only wants to see me when it's convenient for them, when it looks good on them. When they don't even bother to ask how I'm doing, how I'm feeling. We are taught so many wrong things. But no one no one's taken a moment to stop and think for a moment. This isn't quite right. So in my opinion, family is more so who you choose to be family. I might be an only child biologically, but I have an adopted sister. She has absolutely no blood relation whatsoever to my family. But she was always there for my mom and I when we left my dad. She made sure that we had a house. She made sure that we had a car. If we needed a ride anywhere and we didn't have a car at that point, she'd be kind enough to drive us around every once in a while. And it helped a lot. It showed me a lot that family means almost nothing, because when I had blood family members that actually lived in the area, they didn't help me at all. They didn't help my mom and I. But this person, who had absolutely no relation to my family whatsoever, said, "I'll help you." And it was a really big impact on my life. And to this day, I still call her my sister. I don't talk to her very often, I don't see her very often, but if I ever need someone, she's always willing to pick up the phone. As long as she's gotten some sleep, obviously, because she works graveyard shifts. But she's still there. And she still wants to help out as much as she can, even though she's got her own life going on. She still looks out for her little sister. And it's absolutely amazing. And it's heartwarming to me, because this person went from a stranger to a family friend to being family. Same with my aunt. Absolutely no blood relation whatsoever, but my mom has some health problems that I don't quite have the ability to deal with on my own, due to my own mental health issues. I struggle, but I'm still doing the best that I can. Even though there are some times at the end of the day where I beat myself up for not doing good enough for my mom, when she did absolutely everything she could to do the best for me. And she helped out in so many, my aunt helped out in so many different ways, because she would drive my mom and I to the store. She would help, like, pick up the odd groceries if she was out picking up some of her own and she knew that we needed something. Then she'd pick it up and she'd drop it off for us. It's actually really nice of her. And she's even been teaching me how to cook, because I wasn't allowed to be in the kitchen when my father was cooking when I was a kid. I wasn't really encouraged to cook. Or if I was encouraged to cook, it was my meals weren't really that good, or I was treated like I was an idiot, because I was 14. I should have known how to cook. No. I don't. I still struggle with cooking. Like, I've actually been having to cook a lot more now. Almost every night. There are a few odd nights where I just do a cheat supper, where it's pretty much pre-made and it's stick in the oven, call it good, or just pan fry it real quick and be like, yeah, dinner's done. As opposed to, like, preparing vegetables, meat, and, like, a side, whether it be, like, pasta or something. But she's given me some tips and tricks on that. Because I struggle with food. And I know I'm probably not the only one that struggles with it. But of course, if you say you struggle with food, people automatically think that you have an eating disorder. For some, that might be true, but for others, it could be disordered eating, which is an entirely different thing. And with it being an entirely different thing, like, that might require a video on its own. So if you guys want to hear more about disordered eating versus eating disorders, I'll gladly talk some more in another video about that. Probably not this Friday one, but probably an upcoming one. I'd have to do some more research on it, though, because some of it does elude me to a degree. But from my own personal experience with my disordered eating, is that it's actually very, very difficult to do anything when it comes to food. So what disordered eating is when you have next to no relationship or trust with food. So like in child abuse, one of the punishments that sometimes occurs, and it occurred for me, was I would either be starved of food, so I wouldn't be allowed to eat dinner or breakfast. I was allowed lunch because I went to school, and obviously the school admins are going to be all like, so she doesn't have a lunch, that's a bit odd. Or if I was allowed to eat, then it would be just as bad as not being allowed to eat. Because what would happen... Sorry, I froze up for a second there. I just triggered my own trauma. I'm okay, though. I'm alright. It's a byproduct of trauma. But I know I'm safe. And I know I'm not alone. And that's actually really important to me, because a lot of people think that they are, but they're not. So, as I was saying, was if I was allowed to eat, then I would be forced to sit at a table for hours on end. So, like, we would sit down to eat dinner at, like, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, and it didn't matter if I liked it or not. I would be forced to eat it, or I'd be sent to bed hungry. I wasn't allowed to reheat my food in the microwave, so I'd be eating a cold dinner, whether it was chicken or beef, especially beef. Oh, beef was the worst one. At least for me. But I would be forced to sit there until I either finished it or my father got sick and tired of me sitting there, and he would send me to bed. Which could have been like 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I'd have to get up in a couple of hours to go to school. That's not really that fair to a child. Oh, whoops. And if I did eat, not if I did eat, but like when I was eating, if there was a piece that was purely fat, I, of course, like as any child would, spit it out onto the plate. Nope. I would be forced to sit there and eat that piece of fat until I swallowed it. And if I continued to spit it out, it would be crammed down my throat. And like I stated earlier, I wasn't allowed in the kitchen when it came to making dinner, which is actually a very important part of childhood development, helping out in the kitchen. I wasn't allowed. So, there were a lot of areas in which food was not a good thing for me. And I actually suffer the consequences now. And we didn't realize it until I was about 17, when my family found out that the only thing I had that entire day was a hot chocolate. That was all I had since I woke up that morning and all through school was a single hot chocolate. I was immediately driven to a drive-thru where something was given to me to eat, and I was immediately driven to my mom's work while she was on shift, and my mom, in the middle of the parking lot, asked me, "What the hell?" So I explained it to her. And then we started getting some help for it, because that wasn't good. Because I went from being 110 pounds to about 75 at 17. But of course, I did it in a way that no one noticed. And since then, I've actually been on a very steady weight regain journey, and I've been developing a relationship with food as best I can, and I'm starting to do a lot better now. So if you guys want me to cover it in another episode, I can and I will. But my timer is about to go off, so I'm going to end this episode off here, even though it wasn't that lighthearted of a note to leave it off at. But there are some topic ideas for future episodes, if you guys want. If you guys want me to cover any mental health stuff, any trauma-related stuff, I'm more than happy to. Just give me some time to do some more research, and if I miss any parts or any information, feel free to add on to it. All I ask is that it be truthful, because there's a lot of false information out there that could be very, very harmful to people, especially those who are looking to heal and are looking for a community where they're safe to heal and open up and have some friends. Because there are many people with trauma out there who don't really have any friends. And that's one of the reasons why I'm creating this community. Is that we can all grow together. So we can all know that there's someone that we can reach out to, no matter how lonely we feel. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Remember, you are all loved, you are all cherished, you are all wanted, and I am proud of every single one of you. Because you're all fighting to heal from a trauma that should not have been yours to bear. We'll fight our monsters together. Because we have each other. And I will see you all in the next episode.